that I'm not sure on is what is considered Fallbrook?
Okay.
Parameters and perimeters.
That's a good question.
Do you have maps of the area or anything like that?
No, I don't. I just have, or what I've seen is on the internet, on the newsletter.
Okay. So, Fallbrook. 9th. This, I only have a map that I could find immediately off of my files anyways, and most of my studies, I don't know if that's the right word, investigations and stuff, interests lie within Erin Township, which this is the bottom of Erin Township. Erin is up here, and Fallbrook is down here. It's about, I think it's three lots below the baseline, so that's lot 1 going north, lot 2, that's lot 5 anyways, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yes. So, and my father's farm was on the 10th line at 5. This is, it's under W. Young there, and my great-grandfather had the farm below. So that's where some of my ancestors come from.
That's interesting.
Okay, I'm going to say Fallbrook is between the 8th. This is the 9th line, that's the 8th, that's the 7th. So it's between the 8th and the 9th, down in that area. So I have been, my interest has been in the families of Erin Township because, as I say, on my father's side came to Erin Township. Actually, they came just across the border in Caledon Township in 1820.
Okay.
And they were part of, have you heard of the Rockside Pioneers?
Sounds familiar, but I'm not sure why.
Because it was probably in some memos you saw floating around, of which...
I've only actually lived in the Simcoe area for the last 15, almost 17 years.
Okay.
So I'm
There's
pretty new to
a
the
book
area.
on the Rockside Pioneers, and it has different stories and stuff in it. I actually have scanned it, and I have it in my computer, so if you want I can give you a scanned copy of the book.
Sure. Actually, the library might be interested in putting it as in their digital archives.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you'd be interested in that.
Yeah, okay, sure. I guess while we're going through it, then I'll show you some of the other things I have gathered. These are sort of two family histories. This is my dad's brother who lived in Belmafad. So this is sort of stories about his life, and that would be probably more pertinent to the area, which I've also scanned and have in the computer.
It's a neat thing to have.
Yeah, they did that for my cousin Jimmy. You may have seen him on some of the emails floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's who that is. He's a retired United Church minister.
Okay.
And he lived right in Balmafad on the squeezing side of the border between Erin Township and Esqueezing. And was raised there, went to public school just below Balmafad, and went to high school in Georgetown, and then went on to university. I'm not sure which university, U of T maybe, and then became a minister. Went west and then was around here for a little bit, and then he served a long time in Africa as like a missionary. So that.
Whereabouts in Africa?
Whereabouts? Zambia? It's out in the world somewhere there. This is another history of a lady. She was a Gordon. She married into the McKay family, and the McKays were either first or second families to live in the Fallbrook farm. And so she writes, a lot of it is about on her side and maybe how she met her husband, and then a little bit on the McKay family. One place in there you mentioned about stories and stuff. I do not know many stories, but one in here I saw, which I thought would be two of the McKays were twins, and that's a poem written by somebody, I'm not sure who, about the McKay twins and the birth and the excitement of the father and stuff. So I thought that might be of interest to you.
Did you say you have these scanned as well?
Yes, I'm certain I have that scanned. I'm not sure if I scanned the whole book. The other thing, and I don't know if you have seen it or not, I tried to get the Tweedsmuir histories of Balmafad, the ladies there. And so I scanned some of the articles out of it, which, yes, I have in my computer as well. But it's a bit about the history of the area.
It's very interesting.
Not very good copies, but
It's still legible. Let's see some of the stuff I've read in the archives here. It's pretty illegible.
that will be less intelligible because I don't know if I've got the pages in order now, but anyways, this you can have or the scanned copies of it. Somewhere else, what did I do with it? There has been some things written about the area by the Squeezing Historical Society. There would be, I don't know, that pamphlet.
Is this Squeezing just a nearby town, or
It's a township.
the township?
It's immediately south of Huron Township.
Okay.
And I believe the lines, lines and concessions,
Yes.
the lines, the ninth line of Huron Township aligns with the ninth line of a Squeezing Township, so it's a little easier to follow, hopefully, especially when I talk about lots and concessions.
I live on a concession 9. Well, my parents do live in Beaton, so I'm
Okay,
very
yeah.
familiar with
We
town
can
lines
talk a
and
bit about the language
concessions.
anyways. And that I probably have scanned as well.
Looks like you have quite a lot here.
On my email I sent you, you got a picture
Yes.
of me and
Your sister?
my sister and my cousin Jimmy and his wife. And that picture, I don't know if you can see it, is taken at this location, which is called Hickory Falls.
Oh.
And now it's not right at the Fallbrook farm. I wasn't sure when they first started talking about it. I couldn't remember where it was, but I remember being there. We sometimes would go there in the hot days of summer and cool off in the spring
like a
water.
pretty cool spot.
And that my sister that was in the picture is the one standing at the top of the falls up here somewhere.
Okay.
And who else? That would be my younger brother Ross and my which sister? My second youngest sister Janice. And I don't know where I was, afraid to go in the water or where I was, but I remember being there. We went there several times, so that's one of the pictures that I have. This is another picture of the 7th line Trafalgar Road, just north of what they call Silver Creek. And my mother, this again would be my sister, was at the top of the falls. That's my older brother. That's me, that's my younger brother Ross, and that would be that Janice, that would be next younger sister Linda. They were redoing the road there, like it was really a steep hill and they used to wind around, but they were cutting it down at the time, and we were going down to visit let me see, would my grandfather still be living? Yes, he would. My grandfather, after they retired off the farm, lived in Georgetown, so we were on the way down and we got stuck in the mud, so we got in the camera and took the picture. So that's one of the pictures. I have more pictures of sort of family reunion type ones of let me see, I may have the odd picture of Mr. Donald McKay, my great-grandfather, who was on the McKay farm down there. And I think I have some pictures of my great-grandmother, Jessie Cobra, and then some lower generations, but I don't have many of right down at the farm, but of the area. Maybe I should mention this, my dad's brother, James Palmer Kirkwood. He, among other things in his endeavors, he built the mill at the corner of what we call baseline, town line between Erin Township and Squeezing Township. And he built a mill there, a grist mill, and he operated that for quite a number of years. It's been since torn down, so it's no longer there. He also operated the store across I'm not sure if he owned it, he operated it for a while anyways, worked there. Some of that is in this book here anyways.
Okay.
So that's basically, I guess, what I have, and anything that I have here you can have or have a copy of.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, what questions do you have?
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just sort of start.
Sure.
I guess we'll just ask you to state your name just for the record, so that
For the
we
record.
get on the camera, so that several years from now, when I'm no longer here and it's in the
Okay.
archive, then
My name is Bones.
Bones. That's an interesting name. Is that a Scottish name?
No, that's an Erin name, given to me by. I could show you some pictures of why they call me Bones, because
Okay.
my ribs showed quite a bit back then, not so much anymore. That was a nickname somebody gave me, and then a few people still call me that now, but not. Anyways, my name is Alan Donald Kirkwood. My age, old. I was born in 24th of October 1940. Actually, I was born in the town of Erin, even though we lived out down the 10th line of Erin. But my mother would come to Erin to a, what would they call it then? Birthing home. Mrs. Chisholm's home, which is about 6 or 7 houses away from where I live now. And so I was born there, and she was probably there a week before she returned back to the farm. And I think my brother Doug was born there, my sister Janice was born there, I was born there, my brother Ross was born there, and probably my sister Janice was born there, probably 5. There's 7 of us. The only one, the youngest one, was born in a hospital in Orangeville. The rest were either, I think the second youngest, Linda, was born at home. At that time we were living in Erin. And maybe, I'll tell you now about how we came to Erin. In 1943, December, my dad traded the farm that we had for the grist mill in Erin. So then we left the farm and we came to Erin and lived in Erin. And a guy by the name of Rolly Leach, who owned the grist mill at that time, went and took over the farm. So that's how I ended up in Erin at the age of 3. What else would you like to know? I guess I told you when I lived there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we lived at Lot 5, Concession 10, the west half in Erin Township. Why they left? I'm not sure. Whether my dad thought that he would rather operate a grist mill and was tired of farming or whatever, but he...
What kind of farm was it?
What they call it, multi-purpose. I mean, well, horses to pull the equipment. We had cattle, pigs, chickens, and the crops were the usual oats and barley, probably some wheat, potatoes, whatever to survive with on the farm. That farm, my grandfather, William Kirkwood, I'm not sure when he got it, would probably be getting close to the 20th century. I don't know if he was there in the 1890s or not, can't remember. Anyways, the farm south of it at Lot 4 was owned by my great-grandfather, and before that, I guess, my great-great-grandfather. I think they got that farm around the 1840s sometime. So that was, in 1967, they had this project of the Century Farms, where if the farm had been in the family name for the 100 years, then you got to put a plaque out at your mailbox or whatever at the front of the property.